Okay.
And I'm aware of some new change requests that have come through, and I kind of want to catch up so that we can jointly agree our position ahead of going to the weekly governance, which will happen on Monday.
Sure. Okay.
That's what I'm going to do. So the situation for everyone is that our project is close to going live. While I've been out, I've seen a bunch of emails flying around with changes to requirements that are coming at this very late stage. I don't think we should be accepting any change requests, and I want to agree. I want myself and Catherine, who is my equivalent within the commercial business, to agree a joint position ahead of going to governance on Monday.
So
Governance meeting on Monday.
change request coming through from Catherine's team.
Yes, correct. Yeah, from commercial.
Morning, Natalie. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, thank you.
How was your time out of the office?
It was good. It was good. It was good to kind of get away. It was nice to be with my options group. I know you did options a few years ago, and it was really insightful. We were doing an influencing course. We learned lots about different personal styles. We learned lots about different techniques, and there were lots of different tools, and we heard obviously different people's points of view and challenges that they're going through. And it's really useful. So yeah, it's good.
Good stuff.
Good to be back. I thought it would be useful for us to catch up.
Yeah.
I've got governance on Monday.
Yes, I'm aware of that. Yeah.
I haven't caught up on all my emails yet, but I've just become aware that there's a few change requests that have come through from some of your guys.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to take the opportunity to catch up with you ahead of governance on Monday, so that we're clear on our position to the governance group on which of these we want to, which of these change requests we want to see approved by the group.
Yeah. No, I know that there are a lot of requests for change, and as you go through your emails, you'll see that there have actually been a few additional requirements added as well.
Yeah.
The feeling from my end is that there are just one or two things that just don't sit right.
Okay. And why is that?
I mean, we've had a look through, and some of the aesthetics aren't quite as we want them.
Right.
We're a bit worried about the fonts in terms of sizing.
Okay.
Well, we think they should be a little bigger, and the actual appearance of the fonts it's not the one we want to use.
Okay. So I guess just a couple of things. As you'll be aware that a decision was made a couple of months ago that we are not going to make any more changes to the system at this late stage, unless it's absolutely necessary. So what I want us to understand is, do we believe that this is absolutely necessary at this late stage?
Well, I know what you mean. Obviously, we're pushing you time-wise, but I also think it's really important that we get this right 100%. Otherwise, we're not going to give it the backing that it needs, and it will be discredited. And I think, as much as meeting our deadline is important and very important for you guys, it's also really important for us that if we're going to do this, we do it right.
Okay.
As I'm sure you understand.
I haven't had a chance to go into this in a lot of detail yet, but I have asked the team to give me some initial estimates on if we were to include all 5 of these change requests.
Yeah.
It's going to have quite a significant impact on our timescales. We could be looking to move our project timescales out by 6 weeks.
6 weeks, really?
6 weeks, yeah. It's not, I know it seems like it's a small change, but actually it's quite a significant piece of development, some of these. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on that, because personally, just from a personal perspective, I'm wondering if we could go through, probably not now, but we should have a session ahead of governance on Monday to go through them one by one and just really look at them and understand which ones are absolutely needed, and do we have any other options? How can we work through them? Because at this late stage, obviously we're now in the sort of about 6 weeks away from go live, and this is going to impact our plan quite considerably.
I completely appreciate that. But my thoughts obviously are that we would not have forwarded these changes to you unless we'd actually thought about it ourselves, and commercial had really kind of struggled to come up with these.
Sure.
And they all sat down and said, look, we don't want to cause a problem, but these are things that we absolutely have to implement in this. So I don't think these changes or these further requests have come lightly. I think they are things that are very much important to commercials.
So in terms of going to governance, I guess we need to sort of put a joint position to governance on Monday. Perhaps that we could get our teams together to draw up the pros and cons, so that then governance can make the decision.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's a bad idea. I think really this is about, you know, thrashing out the things that we absolutely need, and there are one or two things that we do need to push for, and we're not quite happy with it as it stands.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys appreciate that, and you'll listen to the things that commercial need. But yeah, I think you're right. I think to sit down and talk about it might be a good idea, to get the teams together.
Because I'm just going to pause it there. So, so how's it going?
Yeah, I kind of feel like we've got to this stage where we're not going to agree between us in this session. So we need to agree what the next steps are. So that's what we need to do, because Catherine's not going to budge on this.
Okay.
I'm not going to budge on this, but we need to almost bring in the experts and have that session. But the key thing for me is that we go into the governance meeting not in a conflictual way, but in a way that we're bringing a joint position to the leadership.
And I'm going to ask, so Catherine, how is Catherine feeling?
I think it's going pretty well, actually. I think there's a good rapport, and I think my only issue is that I don't know what the benefits are for me to just all of a sudden have a united front with you for Monday.
Okay.
I need a bit more. I need a bit more vision, really, as to why I will, you know, compromise if I am going to compromise.
Okay.
I need to know the benefits, the business benefits, and maybe my benefits.
Okay.
Can I just make an observation? And this is obviously us out of the bubble. So at one point, Natalie was talking a lot, and it felt as though you were kind of waiting to come in and say something. I don't know, did it feel that way from your point of view?
Yeah, at the beginning there was an awful lot of, right, this is what I think and this is how we've got to go forward. Again, I think it's that age-old thing of ask some questions and get the other person involved.
Yeah, okay. So you can pick it up as you are now, you can rewind, do whatever you want with it. I hope it didn't throw you there.
Yeah, that's good. Should we pick up from where we went?
Absolutely, yeah.
So Catherine, I'm conscious of your time.
Yeah.
We've still got time before our governance session on Monday. What are your thoughts on how we move this forward?
Well, I think obviously compromises have to be made, and we have to decide between us and with the teams, obviously, how to go forward.
Okay. What more can I do to help us ahead of, say, a follow-up session?
I think if you could perhaps provide a kind of acceptance of some of the changes that we want to make.
Okay.
At least consider them and give us, again, a sort of estimation of how long.
Yeah, okay. So you want me to kind of document the implications so that you can see that more closely and understand it?
I think that's a good idea. If you could tell me how long each individual change is going to take, of all the 5, then also we can make an informed decision about which ones to lose based on how much longer the timeline is going to take.
I just want you to know that I'm not saying that we don't need these at this point. These changes, I can see the value in them.
Yeah.
My only question, which we can work through when we have another session, is: do we need them now? Given when we go live, we're piloting with a small number of users. Can we work with the users so they understand that this is how it is at the moment, and we will develop the additional changes, you know, within a month or so after, once they're using the system.
And in the meantime, what do I take commercial?
I think that's the point. As long as we can manage their expectations and reassure them that they are going to be getting these changes at a future date, because they've agreed to kind of pilot the solution, they're sort of pioneering and seeing the initial screens. They can help us develop the changes. They may have other suggestions to make that we could then incorporate into the future screen changes.
So how about if we say to them, look, let's go with it, let's pilot it for the first couple of months, then after 3 months let's have a feedback review, and after 3 months we guarantee that anything that is absolutely necessary we will implement and we will improve and develop the system.
I think that would probably be closer to what I think would help us get to where we need to, i.e. to be able to get something out there according to our timescales, but also give our users the opportunity to impact the future situation. I don't like the word guarantee at this stage, but we can certainly look to involve them and make sure that they help us sort of put together the future system.
Okay, and anything that is essential, anything that comes out of the meeting I'm going to have with them that is essential, you will consider adding to the system as is?
Absolutely, I think we have to. Although we also need to manage expectations that we only have so much development resource available, so we may need to prioritise things, but absolutely their voice should be one of the key factors in helping us do that prioritisation.
Okay, well I think I can put that forward to them.
Okay. So
let's stop there. Good, well done. So just very quickly before we go to these, very quickly guys, what were the styles and techniques that you were seeing?
So I thought that you've been quite assertive, and I thought you were also compromising as well.
In a way, it was Julie, could you try to work for the long term? I'm talking about you can definitely do that in 3 months' time. I don't know how long that fits with the time scale of things, but.
What about techniques? The 9 techniques.
Commitment. We show you commitment
to
the fact that we're not just going to dump you and keep going.
Yeah.
Up there.
Yeah.
So it's good communication, vision, enthusiasm,
So we've got listening.
liking, listening. Okay.
See, I put down you're really clear and very impactful, but what I didn't hear was anything that was like an acknowledgement that any of Catherine's ideas were good ideas. Because I would have, if I was in Catherine's shoes, I'd be like, a bit, it would really good to have some acknowledgement that the suggestion that you came up with was actually a really good idea. Because actually it was a really good idea, she was compromising and everything.
One thing I picked up from Catherine said there's 1 or 2 things we need, essentially we need.
I should have jumped on that.
Yeah, how do we prioritise?
What are those 2 things we can find a way forward?
So I think, on my head, I wrote down assertive, compromise, finding a way forward. And also wrote down commandment as well. There were a couple of times where it went a little bit strong.
Do you feel that?
A little bit, yeah.
I think that's needed to push on. You're like, what can I do to get
trying to get to a resolution.
Yeah.
So I thought you were very solution focused. You wanted to get to a point that you actually had something that could work with. So I think a lot of the assertiveness was really needed.
Well, after we broke, did it feel different?
Absolutely. I mean, the vision and enthusiasm thing, you really took that on board, and you sold it to me a lot more. It wasn't really like, right, we have to do this. This is when we have to do it by. End up. You started selling me the solution a bit more rather than telling me the solution. I do think there was a little bit more reciprocation that you could have used there. If you do this, I'll do that. If you get commercial on board, then let's see what really they need. That would have been a little bit more beneficial to me as well, because I did feel a bit like what's in it for me. It was a little bit that. But I thought you handled it really well. I think what you wanted, you achieved. You got some kind of compromise and you got some kind of commitment out of it. And I think you did that very well.
Yeah, and I think that after we broke, you asked a couple of really great questions and really tried to understand, and put yourself into Catherine's shoes. That came across, and it was almost calmer, and there was some reassuring. You used some reassuring. I can't remember exactly what you said. I think sometimes with your focus, you're so outcome focused that you can miss. It's that being in the present and kind of, okay, what's the full picture of what's going on here? And you got much more of that the second time that we did it. There was much more engagement, and there was a genuine, or a real want to understand, and that was reflected in your body language and some of your facial expressions, rather than being task, well, I've got to get it done, and that's ridiculous,
there was certainly, you were very connected in terms of eye contact, and physically you became a lot more connected after we paused.
How did it feel with the second time?
It actually took the pressure off me because I was letting you talk more, so I was able to come up with other ideas because I was hearing your ideas and incorporating them into how we were going to resolve it.
You got to let people give you clues of how to fix it.
That's right. The curious.
Sometimes it's just sitting back and letting them do all the work.
Yeah. You just seem more relaxed after the pause, and I think beforehand you were, because you're quite a smiley person, and you were more, your face seemed more relaxed after the pause and a bit more.
Used to really okay.
Yeah, you really self-conscious with it, isn't it?
The outcome focus was interesting. I've never really seen you when you're doing task-based stuff, and actually it's kind of quite surprising how focused you are on outcome. Obviously you've got exactly what you wanted out of it. It feels like.
Yeah.
So there's obviously some success there. I kind of there's a couple of times where you finish sentences, which I always find is what I do. I really struggle. So if people aren't getting there quickly enough, I kind of have to help them. And it's kind of like, well, I noticed your face when she did that was a little bit off.
And that's just the slowing it down.
Yeah, it's just, so when you didn't do that, when you allowed Catherine time to talk, I thought it worked a lot better and you got a lot more out of it.
Okay. Well done.
Thank you.
It's quite weird. It must be a question of the camera and the situation.
Yeah. Right then, go Rem.